What's good? What's good? Good morning, good evening in my case. Raider Nation, everyone in the chat, salute to you. I'm Afakasi Raider. I'm going to get this right. Am I right? Dirt.E Low and down below, Ont6. You know what it is. What's going on, gang?
Everyone, good morning.
Good evening for me, my friend.
Or good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening to you. Good morning. Good morning, good sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's do a quick roll call with the chat. JB, appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for your comments on that.
JB, what's up, brother?
I think he's watching on your channel. Salute to you. Appreciate you.
What's up, brother?
What's up, Raider Nation? Sean Johnson, good to see you.
My brother. Good morning.
Nutty Nate, what's cracking, dog?
What up?
How are you, brother?
Hey, Nutty.
MG, salute.
Michael, what's good?
My man,
one drop it, baby.
Good to see you, MG, my brother. Digital Prayers up in the building. Salute to you. Thanks for stopping by. And Egalitarian again. What's up, Ont6 Soldier?
Whatever, Egalitarian. Good to see you, bro. Thanks for coming.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Look, last week's game was last week ago. I'm ready to move on. But before we do, Ont6, you know what time it is. You want to take the floor for our Put Him in the Bathroom award, and then we'll move straight to the news and that?
Yes.
1 moment.
This week, for Put Him in the Bathroom, there's 2 people we're putting in the bathroom this week. 1, the Kansas City Chiefs fans, for your horrible things you did to our players at halftime, throwing beer at our players, calling them the N-words and racial slurs just because you guys are losing 17-0. Really? And this other one, the Kansas City Chiefs Police Department. How is it that you guys brought up charges on Devontae Adams one day after an incident, but you waited 2 weeks to bring up charges against Andy Reid's son that allegedly killed somebody? So both of you guys going up in the bathroom.
For sure.
Oh,
put him in the bathroom and stay there. And that whole situation's just been blown out of proportion in my personal opinion. And look, I hope Devontae Adams, so far, he's escaped suspension. So hopefully that is the case. Just if there has to be a fine, whatever. But the sooner we move on, the better. You got any thoughts on that, Dirty?
So my big thoughts are crazy. You know what I mean? Just over the simple fact is, if you really think about it, everybody that's on that field, the press, security guards, people that like buy tickets, anything like that, there is some form of something saying that you enter at your own risk, especially in that field, in that area, especially. So there was a waiver signed by this guy. You know what I mean? I think possibly he's being pressured. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to make it more than what it is. They're trying to make this guy almost a fucking smear campaign, in a sense, the way I feel about it. There's no point. How can Stephen A. one day turn around and say that, and in the same sentence, turn around and say that, you know, it's the game of football, he's this, that, and the third, and then turn around and be like, absolutely at the end, he should get fined and suspended. Get the fuck out of here, bro. So bottom line is, I think personally, anybody that's in that area, there was a point in time where I was going to get a job doing security at football games. Santa Clara at the Niners game, I didn't want to do it. But the thing is, though, I would have to be on the field. I have to sign a waiver. I'm going to have to look at the stands and make sure nobody comes in. Now, if the people are getting hit from behind, why don't they get fucking sued? They put their hands on them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's the same thing. Anybody in that area, you know what I mean, that's actually like, you know, committed to be there, or like, you know, eligible to be there, they should understand that you can get knocked out. You know what I mean? You can get hit. Things can happen. Because he put his hands on him, it was just a reaction. His head was down. So that's how I feel about that. I mean, as far as that's concerned. And from what I understand, the NFL's not pressing any charges. Sean just sent me something about Raider Scouts and some shit like that. So, yeah. So that's that, bro. I mean, that's pretty much the way I feel about that.
Yeah, just real quickly on it, and then we'll move on. Salute to you, Raiderette for life. I appreciate you stopping by. I just saw your comment before. Look, I mean, if you have a look at it from the other angle, I mean, the first angle doesn't look good, but from the other angle, his head's down. He's obviously feeling some type of way over, you know, the loss and that. losing like that. And you know, he's not even looking up, and the guy looked like he just stepped in his way. And how is he, you know, in the space of like a millisecond, it could be anyone. He doesn't know if it's a fan, he doesn't know if it's somebody that's just trying to get in his personal space, or you know, it was just, to me, it was just instinct. That's just the way I see it. Again, like I said, the sooner we move on from it, the better. Best case scenario, look, just a small fine, whatever, get it out of the way, and then move on. No suspension needed, and definitely no jail time. That's just ridiculous. So
yeah, I feel that.
What
about you, Auntie? How you feel about that?
This is the thing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is not the first time an incident like this has happened. A couple years ago, a Vikings player knocked out a sound guy when he was coming out the thing. Right? Did that guy personally charged for anything happen to that player? No. But all of a sudden, us Raiders do something like that, we get charges and shit up against us. That's the shit that pisses me off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why didn't anything happen that first time when the Vikings player did? Nothing happened to him or the player. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, Devontae Adams get charges brought against him. It's just ridiculous. So I'm just over it, though.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I feel you. I concur. Do you concur, sir?
I concur.
For sure.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right, moving on. The hip hop happenings throughout the week. There's been talks of maybe possible trades because the trade period is about to finish. If I'm not well, is it finished now or is it still going? What's the go there?
I thought it was week 7. Does anybody in the chat know if it's what's the deal with when the last week of the trade? I think it's 7th or 8th. It's 7th or 8th week.
Yeah. One of those two, but it's coming. I think it's next week, I think, right?
Yeah.
I think we should just trade everybody, bro. Start all over.
Really? Not too soon.
I'm being a smart guy.
He's gonna post on Madden. On Madden and start get rid of everybody.
I'm gonna trade everybody on Madden. No,
yeah, for sure.
I couldn't even do that shit, bro.
Well, the Raiders need speed, that's for sure. And Madden, it's killing them. Yeah, it's making them almost unplayable. But yeah, JB's comment. Adams was thinking about that ball on. I believe you mean 4th down when they went for the deep pass, and you know what happened. Hunter Renfrow and Devontae Adams collided with each other.
November 1st, yeah. Sean did send me that, but I was going to get to that right now too. We were talking about. I know we were talking about the defense so far. Best players as far as offense and defense.
Okay, we can get straight into that.
Yeah, we can get to that, and then we'll get back to because I know Sean sent me some potential trades that we can look at. You know what I mean? Okay. So,
all right. So you want to go? I mean, it's the bye week, so maybe we can give out like who we think has been our best player on offense and defense so far.
As far as right now, for me on defense, it's going to be a Crosby, and offense going to be Jacobs.
Yeah,
simple. There's
plain and simple. Yeah,
plain and simple. I mean, you know,
I concur.
You concur?
I concur.
Man, this motherfucker Max is on pace to get like what 17, 18 fucking sacks, bro. That's what I'm saying.
It's no joke, bro. Put respect on his name. I'm so glad I got his autograph rookie card too. Ooh, that shit's worth some money now.
Has anybody else on the team got a sack yet besides Max Crosby?
Hobbs.
Yeah.
Hobbs.
Somebody else has a sack, but I don't know who. I think it might be a safety.
I don't know. Like outside of Crosby, the sack numbers are kind of low, aren't they? Which is something I hope we pick up.
We have no defensive tackle sacks, huh?
We got one sack from defense. I think it's a safety. One of our safeties has sacked.
Well, I gotta say, that's a good fucking question. See, we're talking about winging it. You see that shit comes up.
Hey, Sean, you're the man with the stats.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Do you know if anyone else has got any sacks yet, or is it just the 6 by Crosby? I can't recall anybody else getting any. I mean, they put on some pressures, but to my recollection, I don't think anyone else has gotten to the back yet.
I think Abram might have one. I think, to be honest with you.
Hold on.
But yeah, look, I agree with your answer. Jacobs and Crosby, I mean, it's pretty unequivocal, if I'm going to be honest. Maybe some honorable mentions on either side. God, you got to think about it, don't you?
Yeah,
It's that far ahead. It's that far of a landslide. I mean, Devontae Adams has been good this far on the offensive side of the ball. And on defense, oh, God, like, who stood out? Just at the top of the dome, Denzel Perryman, in the limited game time he's got, has looked fantastic. Hopefully he can be more consistent with what's going on with his injuries and that. And Jonathan Abram, I thought it's been okay.
Sacks. Perryman, Nate Hobbs, Crosby.
Okay.
I
would say Hobbs as well, but he didn't play too well against the Chiefs. But granted, he broke his hand. So
8 sacks. Yep, we have a total of 8 sacks. Nate Hobbs, Perryman, and 6 for
Cashflow Raider. Salute to you. Hobbs has 1. Okay. And Bilal Nichols has half a sack. Pause. Yeah. We know what you mean. Nutty Raider. Salute to you. Well, Dirt.E has that long stat list when he goes over it in the show.
It's fucking long. You guys ready? This shit's long.
Sure.
All right. We can do it in sections. So I'm gonna read it as he gave it to me. All right, let me put this fucking joint out. This shit's fucking pretty strong. All right. Las Vegas Raiders stats. We are 1-4. Stats show that we are not a 1-4 team. Derek Carr is Derek Carr 13 Derek Carr's 13 in passing yards in the NFL. Devontae Adams is 8th in receiving yards in the NFL. Devontae Adams is 2nd in TDs in the NFL. Josh Jacobs is 3rd in rushing yards in the NFL. Max Crosby is tied first sacks in the NFL. Divine Diablo, 9th in tackles in the NFL. Daniel Carlson, 1st in kicking in the NFL. AJ Cole, 3rd in punting in the NFL. Amir Abdullah, 35th in returning in the NFL. Raiders are the 14th in team passing yards. Raiders are 13th in rushing team yards in the NFL. The Raiders are 10th in total team yards in the NFL. Raiders are 15th in receiving yards in the NFL. The Raiders are 12th in downs. I didn't get that one. The Raiders are 12th in downs in the NFL. 13th in yards allowed in the NFL. 24th in turnovers in the NFL. 8th in defensive passing yards in the NFL. 8th in defensive rushing yards in the NFL. 10th in defensive downs. 15th in returning yards. 3rd in kicking. And 3rd in punting. So what trips me out is that we're 8th in passing yards in defense and 8th in rushing. That should put us statistically roughly between 12 and 14.
Yeah. Well,
you know what I mean? That's fucking crazy. And overall, all the games that we've lost have totaled 14 points.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy.
As impressive as those numbers are, the only number to me that really matters is the record. Yeah. And we're 1-4.
See, like sometimes you just gotta look at it simply like that, bro. Like no matter what, and Stu and see, we had that conversation, bro, and I'm stuck with this. Stats don't matter, bro. Stats don't matter. They do, but they don't. They give you an estimated guess of what could possibly happen. Because think about it. Look at where we're at. We're sitting here clamoring for a top 15 defense. We got it. The numbers show that. But we're not finishing certain things. I don't know what the fuck we're doing, bro. I'm sorry.
That's all right, man. It's these executions or lack thereof that is killing us. I mean, we're doing well in quite a few departments, as you just highlighted with your stats. And salute to you, OG Daniel. Good to see you in the feed. Nice to see you.
OG.
But it's these executions on 1, 2, 3 plays in each of the games we played that have just cost us dearly. And that's just something we need to clean up moving forward. And I believe they can. as OG Daniel just says, when it all clicks, it will be amazing. Yes, I believe, and I'm hoping that after the bye, we'll turn the corner because we've got a reasonable schedule that can get us back on track. So, I'm gonna stay positive. I know a lot of Raider fans have been down after the result last week and because of a record, which I understand, but there are some positives moving forward.
Yeah.
Not a Raider YouTuber. A salute to you. We are a top 10 team executing like a bottom 20 team. Yeah, absolutely. That's
Well,
just
what do you
exactly
expect? For real, what do you expect? We have all the pieces there. Everything's there. We're fighting these games. We're not losing blowouts. We're fighting, bro. Like, no matter what, it's not like we're just sitting there just calling it in.
Yeah.
It's not like, you know what I mean? We are giving up a lot of bullshit plays. I agree with what Sean says, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One
That's
more
red for those stats, Sean. My bad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Sean, you already know what's up.
Yeah. You know what's up.
But like if you really, really look at it, bro, like he's saying one more red zone, but we're also two or three more defensive stops. You know what I mean? Like the reason why it's a trip, even though if you break down the certain stats or whatever, we're not in the second half, the defense gives up too many yards. It doesn't matter. It just shows at least one quarter they give up fucking everything. And then it's just a fucking ripple effect. And then they expect us to come back, you know what I mean, or sustain the lead. But the numbers are just throwing us off, bro. Like if you look at it, man, it's just fucking crazy.
Yeah. Egalitarian's comment here. Josh McDaniels and Patrick Graham need to make some serious adjustments during and after the bye week. Absolutely, and that's something that definitely needs working on. Is McDaniels' coaching has been sketchy, to say the least, which was something I was concerned about when we hired him in the first place. I'm hoping he picks his game up and does better in some of his decision making, especially some of his play calling and that. So we'll see how it clicks. I'm still willing to give him some time, just not a lot of time. I mean, we really need to start rolling soon.
So, Auntie, how much time do you think we should give him? Going off of what Afakasi said.
I think after the bye week, but the thing is too, guys, we got to realize this is the first time this team's actually been put together. It's a new system for everybody. Everybody got to get on the same page. We've been having injury. Everybody's not clicking. You know what I mean? It's going to take some time. You know what I mean? As much as we want it to be coming out the gate, running like full steam, you know what I mean? It's going to take some time, guys. You know what I mean? Like compared to week 1 to where we are now, it's night and day and shit. We went toe to toe, one of the best teams in the AFC. You know what I mean? We're literally one play away from us winning that game. You know what I mean? I'm proud of this team is a long way, but if we come out the bye week horrible against the Texans and shit, it's gonna be red flags for concerns, which I don't think we are. I think we're gonna come out full steam ahead, especially too. You know what I mean? We got to get Waller 100% healthy. We got to get Foster back. You know what I mean? Not having that tight end really hurt us in the last game, brother. You know what I mean? So hopefully everybody can just get healthy and get on the same page, and we can just hit the ground running and get a couple of wins together.
Yeah, I'm just gonna read out some quick comments, and then I'm gonna give my 2 cents on what you just said. The late game magic isn't there so far. Yeah, not like last year. It seems to be the opposite, where late game we're just fading away or making 1 or 2 plays that are just costing us dearly. Like I said, JB's comment here, spot on. AR player execution. They can do 43 plays good and 1 bad can lose the game. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we all know what's happened in these last few games, whether it be the fumble by Hunter Renfrow or the missed catch by Darren Waller, or even whether it was a penalty or not by Malcolm Kuntz that ended up costing us 7 points in the late quarter last game. You know what I mean? It's these bad plays that are just costing us dearly when we're right in the game. And onto you saying, like, we need to start like hot out of the gates. There's been 2 games where we started hot out of the gates, and we've been putting up a big margin to start off with. We're just not keeping the foot on the gas and taking the foot off the throat, so to say. And we're just letting these games where we should be blowing them out, because we're blowing them out in the first quarter or first half, and we just let it slip right through our hands. So that needs to be better. I'm getting tired of this. Like, how can we not, we feeling comfortable because we've got like an 18 point, 21 point, whatever it might be lead, and then all of a sudden we're losing the game. Not good enough. Not good enough. And
no,
just
I agree.
Sorry, I was just going to say, just in regards to what you were saying about those players getting healthy, and that, those are two players I want to see stepping up come after the bye, because it just hasn't been good enough from either of them, and we paid them to be the star players that they should be, and that's Darren Waller and Hunter Renfrow. Both those two guys need to step their game up.
I don't want to talk about Waller.
Yeah, well, it needs to be said.
No, we're going to, but yeah,
yeah. But I'm not gonna take away from Hunter Renfrow either. Like, for me personally, we need more juice out of him, and we need to get him more involved, because it just hasn't been good enough from the both of those two. It's been very underwhelming.
Well, he just got back, and Waller's now gone, so whatever. But hey, before we get onto that, I want to finish talking about the defense right now, because I've been saying a lot, like, the defense sucks and whatever. I'm not saying the defense sucks. I don't think our players suck. I think we have good, solid depth piece, good players. The only thing I have a real problem with, well, I got a problem on all single level. Anyways, let me just go back to that.
This one?
But what Sean said, and he's saying at 11 points per game that we're giving up, right? Average. But it's how we're giving that. I mean, if you break it down, yes, when it's all the way said and done, we are in the negative as far as points scored and what the defense are putting up. But see, that just goes to entail like exactly what our defense is doing. Like, if our defense would make one stop, or hold them to a fucking field goal, changes everything, bro. Changes everything in every single game, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's play calling, bro. I hate that they play scared, like they play off the ball and let them run, move it. I just hate that fucking style of defense, bro. I want every consent. I would rather these motherfuckers get a flag every single play for going for the fucking ball and being sticky to the players than sitting there backing off and letting them get the under shit, bro. For real. That's how I feel.
It's not just the defense not making critical stops or giving them a field goal or a touchdown, whatever it may be. It's also the offense not executing at critical areas of the game, and not, for example, that game against the Titans, when we had two drives in prime position, one off an interception and one where we drove all the way down the field and got picked off. You know what I mean? Like, that's two series of plays where we came up with nothing. Where if we'd have come up with at least 3 points, we would have won. There was, numerous other occasions where we had to settle for 3 points when we're first and goal. You know what I'm saying? And we couldn't even, red zone efficiency. That's something that just needs to definitely improve it, because it just hasn't been good enough.
So my argument about that, brother, there was one stat that got broken this year. And the thing is, that stat has kind of almost been our mantra. We've been ahead and we've had to come back. The stat is that we gave up a 20-point lead. That is not our offense. That is not our offense at all. That is all defense. And even though the numbers show that we're 8th overall, that is all defense, my G. Like, we're putting up points. We put up a gang of points and we gave up the ball 3 times against the Chargers. The defense got scored on, bro. Last year, the last 4 games, bro, it's the fucking defense, man. That's all it is. We keep going back to the missed plays. And I try to hold back on the defense, bro, because the simple fact is, bro, it's like, I don't want to overanalyze them but I do, because I know our offense is good. Of course, we're going to have drop balls, bro. It just happens. You know what I mean? But it's the fucking defense. Shit.
Yeah. Look, I'm not disagreeing with you saying that the defense needs to be better and needs to put some stops together and stop leaking points. I'm just saying that it's not totally on the defense. It's also on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, we're coming out hot out of the gates, or playing catch up football. But then there's just these critical series where we're just not putting points on the board, or we're not finishing, and it's what's keeping these teams keeping the door open for these teams to just walk right back in and take the game away from us. And they've done that like twice. And yeah, it's just both sides of the ball needs to be better. And there's plenty of time to clean these things up. There are some positive signs, despite what the record says. And if we can just clean it up, we can come back, and we can start getting the ball rolling in the right direction, rather than the truck, so to say, reversing downhill like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree, brother. I do.
Time. But who's been your trying to keep things positive? Who's been your surprise player so far that you didn't expect much from, but has exceeded expectations, so to say? Player or two.
Auntie?
Oh, for me, it's gonna be my boy Deron Harmon. I didn't expect much of this guy, especially when we signed him and shit. But he's been coming up with key turnovers and key stops for me. You know what I mean? So that's been really exciting. So that's mine.
For sure. Sorry, I'm just going through the comments. I'll give my answer out in a second. Well, yeah, giving up 4 TDs in the red zone to Kelsey, and only has 25 receiving yards. That's just crazy. I know it's Kelsey, but 4 red zone TDs to him. Yeah, well, I said before the game, can we just, whatever means necessary, stop Kelsey from being Kelsey when he's playing against us? And it just never seems to be the case. We just don't have an answer, and we haven't had an answer for how many years now? And that's just frustrating. I'm just going to read out this comment here by Raider Bob. We have great players at some positions, but a very average supporting cast at others. Yes, absolutely. There's, and that's what's hindering us, is that like we've got guys who are playing well, but then the supporting guys, which we'll talk about in a minute, they're just not giving us the burn, which would be ideal. I'm looking at Waller. I'm looking at Renfro. I'm looking at, granted, Chandler Jones had a better game against the Chiefs, but up until then, Chandler Jones is another one. You're absolutely right. Trayvon Morig, another one it seems like his performance has just fallen off a cliff after the first 2/3 of last season. He just hasn't been able to put it together since. So I do agree with that comment by Raider Bob. But just to get back to what I was, your answer, you were saying that Deron Harmon has been a surprise, which is correct. He's been a pleasant surprise for me too. My answer would be Mac Hollins. Granted, he didn't have the best game against the Chiefs. There was a few key drops, but up until then, he's solidified that number 2 outside wide receiver role that we were hoping would complement Devontae Adams. So he's a guy that I kind of questioned at the start of the year, and I'm glad that I'm wrong about. And another guy that has been a pleasant surprise, another guy who I got on quite heavily before the season started and has come around and made some key plays, is Amik Robinson. I want to give him his flowers. He's been a pleasant surprise on the defensive side of the ball, made some plays, and showed me, I was wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong for the right reasons, as I've said before. So,
when Auntie was saying about Harmon, right? I knew that Harmon wasn't going to come in and be the end all be all. He was going to be for support. So I was all for it. You know what I mean? For him to be making these plays that he's making is fucking amazing. But when you guys were talking about Kelsey, everyone was like, I don't want to Meek on him. I don't want to Meek on him. And everyone was going back and forth saying that Meek had a shit game against Kansas City. In all actuality, he didn't. He had the same amount of targets. He just got burnt on one play. He gave up the same amount of yards. I feel like 28 yards or something like that. I wanted Meek to be on Kelsey. Morig. Everybody was getting smoked, bro. And my logic was this. If a Meek can shut down Hill, why can't he shut down Kelsey? They say Kelsey's elusive because he's smaller? Bro.
Not physical enough to cover Kelsey.
Bro. And look at what happened. Got fucking smoked. Who else caught 4 touchdowns? It was just Kelsey, right? Was a Meek covering him at all? No. I call for that shit, bro. Amik's on fire, bro. Like, you gotta give it to him, bro. He wants that fire. If he would have scored, I think Kelsey would have scored 1 touchdown, and that was it. I think personally, you know what I'm saying. But I think, you know, there. I don't know. Even our linebackers can't cover Kelsey, bro.
Yeah.
I think the person that'll probably be better at it, since he can't catch a fucking ball to cover him, will be fucking Waller, bro. Because Waller knows exactly what he's gonna fucking do, bro. Waller, I swear to God, bro.
That's a crazy take there, Dirty.
Think about that shit, bro. You ain't catching the ball. You can't catch the ball. Tackle a motherfucker, bro. Shit.
I will say, look, Amik Robertson has been a pleasant surprise, and it wasn't working when we had other players trying to cover him. Most specifically, it was Trayvon Morrick who seemed to have the duties, and he was just getting burnt toast. I don't know who else had the duties trying to cover him, but I do see your point in that, like, you know, if he's playing better, then why not? At least if these things aren't working, then plan C would be throw on Amik Robertson and see what the hell he can do, because it couldn't be any worse than what it was. But Amik Robinson, as well as he's played, asking him to play against Travis Kelce. I know I get what you're saying about, like, he was covering. What did you say, Tyreek Hill? Yeah. Okay. Travis Kelce's a different beast because he brings a different skill set, and his skill set is a lot of it is his combination of being, you know, one of the best route runners at the tight end position, but also being a physical specimen at that spot. And Amik is Amik. He's not physical when it comes to coverage. And I mean, look, granted, it may not have been worse than what had already transpired, but
so let me get this.
Let me get this on Travis Kelce. I'm sorry, man.
Nobody noticed that. I noticed it, but nobody's saying it. Everyone, Amik was covering the number 2 at Broncos, and number 1 is Judy. He was covering their number 1, dude, and nobody wants him to cover a number 1 tight. What? Like, that doesn't. It just doesn't make sense to me. He had the best fucking game, bro. Like, I mean, you can't teach speed. Amik ain't fast. You know what I mean? It's about coverage. It's not about him being the tallest. If he can get in the ball's way, grab one hand, make Kelce fight for these. He was wide open, bro. Wide open. Yeah. They threw away from Amik, bro. They didn't throw towards Amik. They went towards Abram and the middle linebackers, bro. And Morig, knowing that he's fucking, you know, like, digressing and shit. Everybody wanted him on. No, dude. Like, I mean, fuck it. He got 4 touchdowns. If he would have got 2, then we would have said, oh, what, trade Amik? You know what I mean? You got to try something.
Look, like I said, I agree. We should have at least tried something different, because what we were trying wasn't working. And I don't believe we tried putting Amik on Travis. I just believe it's another situation where you're playing with fire, putting him on Travis Kelce. But what say you about that, Auntie?
I think they did a great job overall. It was just in the fucking red zone where everything broke down, and he was able to get the 4 touchdowns, because anywhere else on the field he was getting double teamed. But I don't know, all of a sudden he got in the red zone, he was just getting one-on-one matchups, and it was just a little ridiculous. I don't know why they went away from that, you know. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, guys, man. You know what I mean? It happened. It is what it is. I'm just pretty much over that fucking game and really looking forward to the team.
Me too. Mm-hmm. I'm ready. Yeah, like I said, I'm ready.
For the end of the day,
move on and forward from that for sure.
It is what it is, brother. Fuck that shit. It is what it is.
I'm just gonna read out this comment by Sean J. Sorry, I'm missing a few of these comments. Going into the game with KC coverage linebackers was a weakness, especially with Jayon Brown out. Yeah, well, our linebacking core, when it comes to coverage, we haven't had a coverage linebacker for God knows how long. Even our best linebacker, Denzel Perryman, that's not his forte. You know what I mean? Like, he does great and everything else. Coverage, you know. But yeah. Do we even have coverage linebackers? I mean, Divine Diablo, there was a lot of hype about him before the season started. And while his run support has been better and he was good against the Chiefs, his coverage has been very, very disappointing to say the least. I've noticed a few times where he's just looks lost in coverage. So,
who's that again? I'm sorry.
Divine Diablo.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And Jayon Brown, I mean, he's been an underwhelming signing so far. I mean, he hasn't really.
Jayon Brown, he had one good game in a playoff game, dude. You know what I mean? That was it. I'm not trying to take away from the guy or nothing like that, but he's not a coverage linebacker. He had that one good play, bro, and everyone's just going off of that. He gets smoked, bro. He's always been getting smoked. Same thing with Diablo. I don't understand how Diablo's getting smoked when he's a smaller fucking linebacker and played the safety position through college.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought. Like you would think it was the other way around, that coverage would be where he was better suited rather than run support, but it's been the complete opposite. And it, okay, I'm not expecting elite coverage, but at least reasonable coverage, and it hasn't even been that. It's been out of all the linebackers, it's probably been the worst. And like just on the subject of Jayon Brown, like my analogy for Jayon Brown, just going by what you said, would be Malcolm Smith. You know, you're talking about one good game, one good playoff game. That's what. Remember, we had Malcolm Smith. He had that Super Bowl performance where he was the MVP, and you know there was a stigma about him being a good coverage linebacker because he got an interception or two. And when he came over to us, he was kind of probably a little bit better than what Jayon Brown's producing, but he's still kind of underwhelming. Yeah. So yeah. I also hope Anthony Averett is healthy coming out of the bye week. Yeah, absolutely. I haven't heard anything out of Anthony Averett. Sean, anything on Averett? What the hell's going on with him?
No, from what I heard, he's healthy and practicing. Hopefully, he's ready to go after the bye week. So, because we really need him and stuff, especially after Hobby's injury. That's the thing with me personally. Since Hobby's injury, I don't know the severity of his injury, but if he's only going to be out for like 3-4 weeks and we can get Everett back, I'm shutting down Hobbs and let him get healthy, brother, because the season's a long way stretch. You know what I mean? And we're going to need him. But at the end of the day, if he wants to play, he can play. He's going to play. But that's my personal opinion.
For sure. Yeah, I hope we get to see him back soon. The secondary, apart from that Chiefs game where it looked like they couldn't cover a bed with a blanket, has been doing okay. But last week's performance, it seemed we just couldn't get a stop, and that was definitely disappointing. But just in regards to that comment there, Denzel Perryman cannot cover. I mean, he's not great, he's not good. I mean, he what he is, but I wonder, can Luke Masterson cover running backs and tight ends? Well, I don't believe he's seen the field outside of special teams, which has been a little disappointing. I would like to see him getting a snap or two in these third down situations where they're going to be passing, just to see what he can do if we're going to have a linebacker or two out there. I mean, it can't be any worse than, you know, Perryman or Brown. You know what I'm saying? I'll be right back. Just give me a moment.
Well, Sean sent me something showing about the trade potentials.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah. I know we're talking about, you know, trades and stuff like that. He said that we can look at Daron Payne from the Commandos.
The Commandos.
I would rather them be called Commandos, bro. I'd rather be the Washington Commandos than Commanders.
The Commanders. We are Commanders.
Commanders. Anyways, okay.
Commando, I'm getting flashbacks to that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Commandos. Yeah, like he can be their fucking, you know what I mean? Painted all red and yellow.
I love that movie. That's one of my favorite.
I would rather have that than the fucking Commanders, bro. Real quick. So Daron Payne, 25, defensive tackle. Defensive end, Brian Burns. We can give. Yeah, I'd say, do we keep Chandler Jones? Okay, no. Now, as I'm saying these guys, think of players that we would have to trade for and what we would have to trade and what we can give up. All right. Defensive tackle Derek Brown, I apologize, from Panthers. Safety Jackson from the Commandos. Raekwon Smith, which he already has down there. Robert Quinn, which is 32. JT, Jonathan Allen, 27, Washington Commandos. I don't think the Commandos are going to give up anybody, bro. They might because they need a quarterback, maybe. And then the last one, defensive tackle, will be Lodenitis, Matt Lodenitis from Carolina Panthers.
I'm Commando.
Yeah, that's my guy. Fucking Michael, bro. Love you, Michael. You gotta sometimes you gotta read them before you put them up, bro.
Oh shit!
Well, the rumblings. I usually don't like getting into hypothetical situations. It generally never really happens when we throw these situations out, and then they just go the other route and do the complete opposite. But
I mean, what Sean put up there is logical. These are players that we do need. We do need another defensive end. You know what I mean?
You talking about Raekwon Smith? Where's the defensive end?
No, I was talking about Burns. Like, we can go. I would fuck with Burns. Burns is good.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Dirty. I'm not saying that I don't agree with you. I'm saying that, like, with these, I usually don't get into hypothetical situations because you know what I mean. Until they happen, and they ain't happening.
No, I got you. I know exactly what
that's all I'm trying to say. But in regards to what capital we have, I mean, the name that keeps getting thrown out, Darren Waller. Like, there's a lot of people that aren't too happy about his state of affairs. You know, Darren Waller, whatever. Cleve Farrell's another name that keeps getting thrown out. A guy who's actually been reasonably okay as a role player and a rotational piece. You know, there might be some value there as well. Another name, surprisingly, but maybe not so surprisingly, that's been thrown out there, even though that would just throw away most of what's making our offense great, is Josh Jacobs. Now, I'm not saying I want to trade him off. Absolutely not. But the writing's on the wall that he's not going to be here next year. He would fetch a pretty hefty bounty if we were to trade him away for whatever. I'm not saying that I would, because I don't want to. And we've got a boatload of picks as well.
I'm not even entertaining the fact, but I thought there was something along the lines stating that they're on their last year of the contract. You can't trade them, or you can trade. Can you?
Yeah, you can trade them.
Oh, okay.
No, you can trade. You can trade him. It's just, would teams be willing to trade for a player who's going to come off his contract anyway in the offseason?
We're going to have to give up picks. Nobody, somebody said this. I can't remember who said it. I believe they said that most of these players that are on this team wouldn't be third string players on other teams.
What's that? So,
for example, a Cleveland Farrell got way over fucking drafted.
Yep.
Maybe second round he should have, been drafted, maybe low second round. So what I'm saying is the people that we have on the team, and stuff like that, these guys wouldn't make it on other NFL teams. Like, say, for example, Amik Robinson wouldn't make it on a Patriots team. They wouldn't draft him. We wouldn't have to be like, come on, man, you can do it. They would be already have these players that are ready to fucking go type shit. You know what I mean? So the way that we're bringing the players in, we're like hope-sos. Like, man, you got the potential. Not they're fucking ballers. You know what I mean? This is what they do. There's a difference. You know what I mean? They try to go off of character, but some of the character flaws, don't actually get you what you need. You know what I mean? I don't know. I might be thinking about it way too deep, but if you really, really think about it like that, man, some of these players right now, Amik Robinson would not have a shot on any other team. He wouldn't make the Rams. You can make the practice squad on the Rams? Nope.
Sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble following you, Dirty, because just 10 minutes ago you were pumping them up pretty nicely. I mean,
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying,
I'm kind of lost. Like, on one hand, you're saying Amik Robinson can shut down Travis Kelce. On the other hand, if we trade him off, you're saying he's no value to other teams. Sorry.
I didn't say he can shut down Travis Kelce. I said I would have rather seen him. I don't think he would have scored at 4 touchdowns if Amik Robinson was covering him. And I'm just using that as an example for going and say basically for making any trades right now, right? We have no one to get rid of. Darren Waller has no trade value, right? Okay. He has no trade value. He's playing like shit, and he's always hurt. We couldn't trade him. So what I'm trying to say is that, like, the players that we have now, we have to depend on these players because these are the players that we have. We have to get better players. Some of the players that were on our team, like an Amik Robinson, would not have a shot on other teams, is what I'm saying. Initially, this is his 3rd year. He would have made it on the Rams squad. You see what I mean? So now that he's playing like crazy and we're moving all these different players around different spots, like a Diablo from a safety to a linebacker, and now we're converting fucking basically the same thing with Abrams. You know what I mean? What's happening is we're not getting the players that just he's a safety, he's a linebacker, he's this. You know what I mean? They're like trying to convert the old ways of doing it. That's what I'm trying to get at. So now we don't have these solid ass players that other teams get because we're basically drafting wrong and picking up players because of what's left over. You see what I mean? So when you say that we have to get rid of some of these players, man, we necessarily can't.
I'm not. I never said that we should get rid of him. Get rid of it. I don't believe. I don't want us to trade any of those guys that are listed. I mean, Cleve Farrell, as nicely as he's playing, like it wouldn't be so much of a loss, so to say, if we got something out of him while we could. I mean, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I usually don't like to entertain these hypotheticals because
so like Farrell, we won't get
happen. They don't.
Like they're saying we're gonna go to Detroit. What are we gonna do? Get the same exact player?
What's that?
We're like they're saying that I seen one person or somebody posted that there was talks about Cleveland going to Detroit. So we're making
Mitchell Brands.
Was it Mitch? Okay, cool.
I think he did that
somewhere. I seen it somewhere.
I think so.
So if we trade Farrell and a 7th round pick and then get a fucking cornerback from a team that's 1-4 too, it's like kind of pointless. You see what I'm saying? So like right now, the players that we got, we kind of just got to stick with them because ain't nobody gonna trade with us. Yeah. Nobody in the NFL right now is gonna trade with us. They're gonna want to fucking completely fucking. They're gonna want to rape us. They're not gonna give a shit.
The only trades I kind of would like to entertain would be if it involves some picks, and that would be because we've got quite a bit of draft capital. We've got quite a bit of 6th, 5th, 7th rounders, whatever it might be. And if we can get like a decent rotational guy that can contribute for a package, then I'd be willing to be open for that to happen, so to say. I mean, it's not outside the realm of possibility. I mean, look, remember we got Denzel Perryman last year for what, a 6th rounder? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, it's possible. We can find ourselves a guy who is unhappy or is not in the right scenario or situation, whatever it might be. And if we package up some picks and say to a team, well, you know, we'll take him. Okay. Here you go. You know,
this is a better way of me saying it. I just thought of a better way of me saying it.
And I agree with that commentary.
Most of the players that we have on the team right now, right, on our defense, should be our backups.
What's that?
On defense? It should be our backups.
On defense?
On defense. Amik should be a backup. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I think Yasin, the way he's playing, I wasn't overexcited with him coming. I would have rather got Gilmore. You know what I mean? You know, I'm kind of glad we got rid of Ngakoue, but I would have rather tried another year with him, you know. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But what I'm trying to say is that some of the players that we have right now, bro, and what JP was saying, what I was trying to say was we need dogs, right? So we need solid players. So Amik is a good depth piece. He can come in 4 to 5 plays, give your starter some rest, or even give him 10 plays, have him rotate in and out. You see what I'm saying? We don't have a solidified linebacker. We don't have any solidified cornerbacks.
Sorry, Denzel Perryman is a solidified linebacker when he's healthy. When he's healthy.
Okay, let me rephrase that. He is a good. He's not a coverage linebacker. He's a great traditional linebacker, whether it be middle, weak, outside. I don't know the difference. But as far as coverage, because a linebacker is asked to do 2 things: cover, tackle, and blitz. All right. So as far as more traditional linebackers, they're fucking blitzing and, you know what I mean, and tackling. That's what they do. They're not coverage. That's what secondary's for. That's what the free safety is for, or the strong safety, whatever. See what I mean? So in the traditional sense, that's what I'm trying to get at.
So what you're trying to say is, and I get what you're saying, is someone outside of him in support who can be that coverage linebacker, because Denzel is great at what he does, and also being the guy who sets the players in their positions, make sure that they're aligned properly. That's also a key role for your traditional middle linebacker, and I believe he does that well. But in terms of coverage, yeah, I do agree that we do need like a if it's not Denzel, because it's not, like, he's not great. He's not totally terrible, like Tahir Whitehead terrible, but he's not good. Like, we just don't have that supporting guy. We were hoping Jayon Brown would prove to be that. He's not. He hasn't so far. We were hoping Divine Diablo would develop and be that. So far, run support, yeah, it's been better, but coverage just hasn't been up to scratch, to say the least. And, you know, again, like Luke Masterson is a guy who showed, in my opinion, like really good coverage in preseason, and I'm kind of surprised that we haven't given him or Darian Butler, with the injuries that we've had, the linebacker position, like even just a little bit of burn, just to see what they can do, because from as far as I can recollect, I don't believe they've seen any game time outside of special teams. Am I wrong? Like, have they seen the field at all? I don't believe so.
No, I haven't seen nothing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen nothing, like, you know, really off the page. I mean, the last thing I seen Kuntz did was with that fucking bullshit ass play. But
yeah,
I mean, I seen him on a couple times on, you know, on the field doing whatever he's doing, but I haven't seen really any of the seconds, you know, the third string guys in there.
Just on the subject of Kuntz, just some small little things I've kind of noticed, and it might explain why he's not getting game time, even though he's producing reasonably well when he's seeing game time. Do you think he might be in the doghouse with McDaniels? I mean, just something I noticed when, like, you know, when he came off the field and he got grilled by McDaniels, and just the way, I don't know, just the body language and the way he spoke to him, even though, you know, Kuntz was pleading his case like, I didn't do anything, and when you see the replay, it looked like he didn't really do much, if anything. And McDaniels just kind of like, I don't want to hear it, you know what I mean? Like, he gave up that vibe that he kind of just, I don't know, he's just not one of his guys.
That could be a possibility. That could be a strong possibility, bro.
I'll give you that. Like, just to further that, like, remember that video where McDaniels was calling out Kuntz in the preseason training when Kuntz was kind of confused on a play, and McDaniels was telling him off, and then, you know, Kuntz was kind of like, you know, and then McDaniels kind of turned around and snapped him like, and don't wave your hands at me either, you know what I mean? Like, fuck's sake. So just, I don't know, I'm just kind of noticing these little things between the two, and it might explain like his lack of playing time. I don't know.
So that's who he was yelling at?
Yeah, Malcolm Kuntz.
Oh, then yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what, you know, to further my point.
I didn't know. Yeah, but that's what it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to read out some of these comments because I feel like we're kind of getting away. Sorry, chat. We appreciate you all being here, and I'm going to be that guy. For those who are on my stream, if you can go over to Dirt.E Low's channel and you know, chuck him a like and a subscribe if you haven't done so, and vice versa for mine if you can. You know, it helps the algorithm and all that jazz, people to find us. So if you could just, you know, tap that like button, That'd be much appreciated. So yeah, just a
tap.
2 seconds. So yeah, appreciate it. Dark Fader, salute to you. I don't know if I've seen you in my chat feed or not, but very most welcome. Good to see you here. Need to blitz Perryman and Jonathan more together. Yeah, well, I haven't seen too much blitzing from Perryman, but Jonathan Abrams has been blitzing a bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, different packages will call for it. I mean,
actually, sorry, there was a read and react play by Perryman. I remember when there was like a miscommunication at the snap, and I think Patrick Mahomes slipped, and Perryman was doing something different, but he was able to read and react and get to the quarterback. If I'm not mistaken, that was Perryman, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, was that a sack? That could be.
No, if it was, it had to be. It was a combo. It had to be a combo, like combination tackle or something.
Well, anyways, yeah. Well,
yeah,
Perryman did well on that play specifically. So shout out to like I said, Perryman has been good. We just need him to stay healthy and be a bit more consistent in his game time. But when he has seen the field, he has been excellent. One of the brightest spots on defense. Sean Johnson, Dirt.E, you think, like I said, Roquan Smith could help this linebacker core? That's why I brought him up, and he's 25. He can be our future. I'll let you answer that, Dirty, but my quick answer would be yes, absolutely.
I mean, I like the youth of him. You know what I mean? And I don't really know much on him, but from what I believe, I heard he's really, really good. I heard he's pretty good. So, shit, I'll be in. I would do that. But see, the thing is, though, Chicago's hoping on something, man. Like, I don't know. They're hoping that, Fields is going to pan out or something because they're trying to keep that defense together as much as they possibly can. But I don't think we'll be able to trade for him. And then, like, it's just the question is, does it, like, who will we trade? And what? Because he would be I think he would solidify the middle of the field. Personally.
Sorry, I'm just going to read that comment out there. What's up, Gabe? Good to see you in the feed. Just going to put the link there if you want to join us this Sunday morning. Is it Sunday morning for you? Sorry, I'm in the future. Yeah, it is Sunday morning. You want to pull up, man? The link is there on whatever channel you're watching on. Let me see here. Jonathan Taylor is out by Alfredo. Do we play the Colts?
Yeah.
When do we play them?
December, I think.
Yeah, they're on the net.
Okay.
Well,
hopefully he's out when we get to the Colts. I mean, hey, they're a team that can put it to anyone. I mean, they beat the Chiefs, so we shouldn't take them lightly. That's for damn sure. They can beat the Chiefs. They can beat anyone on any given Sunday.
Facts.
Yeah. Wake and bake. That's for sure. Well, Raider Gabe, once you finish your wake and bake, if we're still live, if you want to come and jump in the panel, the offer is there. Who we got after the bye week? It's the Texans, isn't it?
Yes,
Texans.
sir.
Yes.
How they looking?
Look them up right now. Schedule. That's going to be.
I mean, they have a decent offense. It's mostly the running game, and their defense is a little suspect. But you know what I mean. With us, I don't know, brother. I just want us to come out fast at the game, just to actually play 4 quarters and get a W, and just get it going from there. But we'll see.
For sure, 4 quarters, not 3 quarters, not a half, not a quarter here and there. Yep. Just 4 quarters of complete football on both sides of the field. Put the foot on the throat. Keep the foot on the gas and don't let up, and don't give these other teams a little gap in the door that they can just bust right open, and then next thing you know, we're losing the game. You know what I mean? Like, or we're playing catch-up football. Let's just play 4-quarter football for a change and win these games that we should win. But yes, hey, Raider Joe. Sorry,
so they're 1-3. Oh, they're 1-3 and they're tied.
Yeah.
So dang, they tied a game. That's funny.
Sorry, I'm just gonna read this comment by Raider Joe. Salute, fellas. Ain't no way in hell we're losing today. Last one. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Hooray for an undefeated Sunday.
Yeah.
See, I wish I could say the same for about my Dodgers, but they lost to the Padres yesterday. Fucking idiots.
So Jerry Hughes has 4 sacks. Rasheem Green has 2.5. Jonathan Greenard has 1.5. Owens is good. Top deep. These are top defensive players right here. They have 4 interceptions total, so they have a total of what? 5. They have 7 sacks total. Jerry Hughes is probably a lineman or something, or defensive end. I don't know who he is, but ranked. I'm trying to see what they're ranked.
Just while you're doing that, Raider Joe, the offer is also there for you. I know you're usually pretty busy around this time, but if you got a minute or two, if you want to come and jump in, the offer is there for you, my brother. But yeah, salute to you. I know you've been working on your channel and pushing out the content. So yeah, for those who haven't, if you haven't done, I got my boy Raider Gabe and Raider Joe in the comment feed. So please go to their channels and chuck them a subscription, likes, all that jazz. Let's support all our brothers that's in this YouTube game. I mean, we're all kind of, in that same echelon where we're all trying to find our feet and make our way. So the more support we can do for each other, the better. So, yeah.
So overall, the Texans are ranked 32nd. Overall.
Okay.
The whole NFL, I believe, has 32 teams. Is that last place, or is there like a 33rd?
Yeah,
place?
that's last place.
Right, that's
Okay, so just making sure.
I've said it a few times in my previous lives, and I'm going to say it with this game. I don't want this to be another game where it's all of a sudden these teams that are supposed to be bad in an area or supposed to be terrible, as soon as they start playing the Raiders, they start putting it together and being able to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want that to happen. Like, if this is a bad team and we should win, then let's win, rather than have another situation like these games last year where we shoulda, coulda won and put these teams away on paper, and we don't. You know what I mean? Like, we're in no position to afford that shit. Like, now that we're at 1-4, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Ready.
Appreciate it, bro. I just chiming in for a sec. I understand. Got to do some laundry right now. I appreciate you, brother. No worries. Throwing it out there. Freddie, what's good, my brother? Thanks for dropping by the stream. Raider Nation for life. You know what it is.
Sure.
But yeah, look, we were talking about players that have stood out so far. I'll go to you, Low, first. Who's been on the other side of the coin? Who's a player or two on either side of the ball that's been very underwhelming and disappointed, and perhaps contributed as to the reason why we're not getting enough? The fact that we're not getting enough, the juice that we're expecting out of them is contributing to our current state of affairs. The easy answer. Yeah.
Bro, I have it on there.
Enough said.
My dog after him, dude. No, I'm just playing. No, I did, but I mean for the inspiration. But anyways, but nah, man, Waller, bro. Waller's been fucking me up, bro. Like, I mean, the thing is, 2 hands, bro. 2 hands. I get it. I understand what he's doing. 2 hands, my G. Just 2 hands, bro. I can get over the gangster rap. I can get over all that, bro. Like, I would rather you go with Drake way, you know what I'm saying? But music wise, because you are pretty dope. But I'm just saying, just that and 2 hands, bro. 1, 2. That's it, my guy. That's it.
It's kind of it's kind of funny how, like, one terrible game, and he had a terrible game against the Titans, his stock has just fallen off a cliff when it comes to Raider Nation. I mean, before that, like, there's quite a few of us that were still, like, high on Darren Waller, but after that, it seems like his his stock has just fallen so far that like there's a lot of people that are wanting to see him out. You know what I mean? I personally am not one of those guys. I still believe in Waller, but it is what it is.
Our team, check this out. Gronkowski didn't become Gronkowski because of Gronk. He became Gronkowski because of Aaron Hernandez. Poor guy, whatever. But what I'm saying is, players need players. You know what I mean? Players get hurt. Gronk gets fucked up. You know what I mean? They just go through it. Moreau and Waller are gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right, bro. We can't just throw these motherfuckers under. I mean, these are men. Afakasi, me and you, let's go heads up. 2 plays, bro. We're gonna be done forever, bro. We're gonna be done for like a couple weeks, bro, because we're old and whatever. Now, Auntie like probably both twice our size, bro. Because I seen him picture next to Dirt.E. You a big motherfucker, bro. So like
that surprised me that photo. Just to digress a little bit, I was surprised how much taller and Dirt.E you were, Auntie. Yeah, I thought Dirt.E was tall. You made him look like
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Me and Dirt.E, I'm a little shorter than Dirt.E. You know what I'm saying? I was like, fuck you guys.
Sorry, now I didn't mean to cut you off, but just since you brought that up, like, right. I saw that the other day. I was like, wow, you actually, Dirt.E's not that big, and you're really tall.
Right.
Anyway,
man, like what I'm trying to say is that, man, these motherfuckers they're getting nailed, bro. They're getting hit. Fucking people. It's a rough ass game. He's gonna be around. Off top, we turn around and everyone's bitching about the contract. I kind of understand it now because you can kind of just pick out the flaws. I mean, he's still on track to give us 1,000-yard season. You know what I'm saying? But you can't turn around in the same sentence and say, "Oh, well, he's a 1,000-yard tight end," but then say that he sucks at the same time. Because no matter what, even when he gets injured, he's still on track for 1,000 yards. So, and if we're basing off stats and whatever, when that's what he's supposed to get paid, then he's getting paid accordingly. He shouldn't get the number one, whatever, not. And yes, he can be considered a bum, you know what I mean, or considered whatever. Or he's had a basketball game. Motherfucker, he's not playing basketball with a hamstring injury. Like, let him go to he can't go to a game, dude. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, for real. But I understand that people are saying, like, oh, well, we need him now. Regardless of whatever, we're going to need players the whole season. We're going to need other players to come up. We're going to need where Josh Jacobs can't do it all season long. Zamir White's going to have to step up. All these other players are going to have to step up. It's 17 fucking games, man. You know what I mean? Now, him dropping and being out of his zone, bro, it happens, bro. It just happens. It just fucking happens. Players go in slumps. We keep fucking knocking them, bro, and keep fucking booing them. They can't pull through. Some people need fucking positive reinforcement, bro.
Yeah.
So
I just want to touch up on this comment here. Leaving your brothers behind enemy lines is messed up. Well, I don't understand. Am I missing something here? What is that reference? What's that reference about?
Probably more along the lines that, like, he feels like, Darren Waller's just doing his own things. You know what I mean? Kind of being the lone wolf kind of guy.
Well, that's always kind of been his MO anyway. I mean, look, I don't have too much of a problem with what Waller's been doing, like, off the field when I compare it to guys like Damon Arnett or these other knuckleheads. You know what I mean? Like, it really hasn't been that bad if you think about it, in my personal opinion. But it's just, I guess, disappointing that he hasn't showed up to expectation the way we would have ideally hoped for, as well as, like I said before, I said my 2 names, the guys who I find have been underwhelming and disappointing, to say the least, so far, and that's Waller and Renfro to a point. I mean, granted, Renfro has had a concussion, but just ideally we would get a bit more burn and a bit more involved. Both of those guys. And on the defensive side of the ball, Chandler Jones had come along. He did have the best game he's had as a Raider in that Chiefs matchup, thank Christ. But before that, has been underwhelming. Has been to say the least. Has been his performance and play for the Raiders since signing him over to that big contract. So, well, the question I asked before, those are my names on that side of the ball, and I'm hoping those 3 can put it together and pick up some steam coming off the bye week. So, yeah. And just reading out this comment by Alfredo, a weekend without the Raiders isn't exciting. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, it's boring.
Feel this week without Raider football has felt like a year, even though it's not even been a week. It's been what, 6 days, 5 days?
Well, I mean, because of it, I mean, I actually got all my work done this week.
Yeah, well, I guess it's a positive to everything.
Yeah,
Auntie, what about you, man?
I mean, I think the biggest disappointment on this team, and I'm sorry to say, has been Jaylen Brown, the linebacker, because he was supposed to be coming in being this great coverage linebacker. He was going to solve all of our tight end problem. And what the fuck has he done? Get burnt every time he's in fucking coverage. Holy Jesus Christ, brother. I mean, he was just made out to be the next coming of our savior, this and that. Gave him this money. We had to sign him right away when free agency started. And what has he done? Shit. And that's for me. Forget trying to do that motherfucker. For me is the biggest disappointment, bro. Because he was supposed to be the Kelsey stopper and shit, and didn't even play. Fucking garbage.
We don't have much luck when it comes to these linebackers. I remember we signed Corey Littleton. 2019 was hyped up in the offseason to being the best coverage linebacker on the free agent market, and we snapped him up. Oh, hallelujah, we've solved all our linebacker problems. Him and Nick Kwiatkowski. Yeah, sure.
I'm telling you, we haven't had a good tandem linebacker since we had Kurt Morrison and Thomas Howard. I'm sorry to say it, but since them two, we haven't had any two linebackers or even three that we drafted and developed that become anything. And we need to do that because I'm tired of these fucking free agents and us having players for a year or two not developing nobody. It's just ridiculous. Especially, too, we drafted Ronaldo McClain that 1 year. He
don't even get me started with that guy.
Ball out over with the became a Pro Bowl player. Like, what the hell? I mean, I don't know, brother. What the fuck's up with the linebacker position in the Raiders, bro? Like, seriously.
Just on that, and I agree with it, all your points there. Although a player I did like that we drafted and did well for us when he was a Raider, when he was healthy. C.O. Moore, one of my favorite Raiders.
Well, yeah, true. C.O. Moore.
Yeah, I like C.O. Moore. I loved him, to be honest. Pause. But like the problem is, like when you're talking about like us drafting linebackers, we're either drafting linebackers that played linebacker in college late in the draft, or we're drafting these project players early and trying to transition them to linebackers. And it's never worked out for us. You know what I mean? Ever. Divine Diablo was showing some reasonable progress, but every other player that we've tried to going from a secondary and trying to transition him to being a linebacker because he's going to be the next great project player that's going to pan out, which never pans out. Like, it's just the list goes on and on. I mean, do I need to name names? I mean, we all know.
All right, check us out, guys. All right, hold on. Let me move this over here real quick.
I'm just
I know who's better, Corey Little and Jaylen Brown. Yeah, absolutely. There we go.
All
right, sorry, just before you say something, I just want to say salute Rafael El Capitan. Hey, what's good, my Raider brothers? Afakasi, Dirt.E Low, and Ont6. Salute Raider Nation for life. Appreciate you stopping by, Rafael. Sorry, go ahead, Dirt.E Low.
Yeah. So what's up, Rafi? No, I was gonna say. So check this out. Okay, so the Raiders pretty much the points that we have given up, points given. We averaged 29 points a game last year, right? And we still had a winning record, and we put up points per game. No, we had 29, and it was 27 that, the opposite. Right now, we're at 25 and giving up 22. So how in the fuck are we up on points and still losing? Makes no fucking sense to me. So I think this is wrong. My bad. What I was trying to look at was the defensive overall rankings for every single year. Because I'm trying to fucking figure out what's going on, because we have not had a good defense since, what did you say? Since Morrison combination. We pick up one good player, and we have one good player on defense for years.
Probably since Stu was there.
I think he was talking about the linebacking position hasn't been.
But yeah, even linebackers though, like that was probably since Stu was there, probably our best defense.
Yeah.
Well, our defense back in 20 2009, I believe was that they were actually solid. Like they weren't stellar, but they were actually pretty solid.
I think they were like 15th, but I think that's when we had like a top 3 defense. I think we were still when they were ranked number 1 or 2. I think that year was when we had Jamarcus.
This is an article from 2020, but it's only 2 years, right? And our defense hasn't gotten any better.
Yeah, JB, you're not wrong.
From 2010 to 2019, the team that never finished higher than 20th in points per game allowed. The only team.
Drum roll, please.
Raiders. The Raiders. The fucking Raiders. Shit.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
But yeah, you said 2010. So that 2009, 2010 period, we had some players on those rosters.
But we still didn't get over 20th.
Yeah. No, but that's after you said
decade,
after
bro.
2010. You said after.
No, 2010 to 2019.
That's 10 years.
2010 for a decade. We've had 2010. Yeah, that's a decade, bro. How long?
Whatever it might be, it needs to be better.
Years?
Needs to be better.
Right.
Yeah,
Needs to be better.
So many different levels, bro. So many different levels. I think it's just defense, bro. That's why I think when it comes down to it, man. Max Crosby is on par to catch up to Myles Garrett. But what is their defense? Like 6th?
Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Well, according to Madden, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I would know I'd use the Browns.
Yeah. There's one player on that team that fuck up the Browns, and he hasn't even played, and he's not gonna play from what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, we don't care about them situation because we're a Raiders channel. Who gives a crap about the Browns, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, that wasn't a
JB. That's what it comes back down to. But like, I mean, when it comes down to it, JB, we have to go back to stats. I'm just looking at it because I don't look at stats for the next game. You know what I'm saying? I look at the stats for the end of everything, and it's the end all be all. And that's kind of I'm just looking at the stats to show my point was that we haven't had fucking defense. And that's the only reason I go back to show a point. I don't use the stats at the end all be all. I think when we go into the first fucking game, anytime it's 0-0. Halo, what's good, bro?
It's good, Halo. My brother was cracking up. How are you, man?
But you see what I'm saying, though?
But yeah, just to further your point, like, you know, we're talking stats and numbers and that, and I did make the comment as like the only stat for me that matters is wins and losses, and we're on the far side of the other side of the ledger on that regard. But with that said, the stats do prove something, that we do have pieces and we are a better team than our record shows, and a lot of people know that, like not just us as Raider fans, but like, you know, when you hear other teams, other people talking about the Raiders, there's been some negatives, but on the flip side of that, a lot of them agree with us when it's like we are a better team than what our record has produced. And you know, they again, like, you know, I've copped a little bit of flack for not too much, but a little bit, because I said, like, as long as we come out of that Chiefs game fighting and swinging, you know, I'll be happy somewhat that we can take some momentum into the bye week rather than just having to do complete soul searching like we did last year when we got totally beat down by 20, 30, 40 points. And I stand by that. So the fact that, I'm as disappointed as anyone about us losing the way we did to the Chiefs in a game that turned out to be that we could have won. We could have and should have, but we didn't. There is positives in the fact that we were able to hang to the end and almost, not quite, beat the team that's one of, if not the best team in the league. So if we can do that against the Chiefs, we can utilize that. And this is a performance like that is what should get us over the line against our next 4 opponents, like the Texans and whoever's after them. You know what I mean? Like, we just got to put a complete performance and execute better when the time comes, so to say. Brian Rodriguez, salute to you. All the Gruden first round draft picks really cost us. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, oh no, not really. I mean,
Colt Miller, Josh Jacobs has turned out. Josh Jacobs has been coming along nicely this year. Cleve Farrell's been a rotational piece, and I've said it a few times. You don't draft a number 3 for a rotational piece; you draft there for a centerpiece. But at least he's been doing okay this year. Before I go further with my point, though, we got someone backstage, close friend of ours, and the King of 420 has been able to grace us with his presence. Please welcome, Raider Gabe.
It's cracking, man. Chilling.
How are you?
Chilling.
What's up? Good morning, brother.
Good morning to you.
Just, getting high. Waking and baking.
Waking and bacon? Waking bacon? Waking bacon?
Yes, sir.
Smoking the lack of Raider football woes away.
Yeah, exactly, man. For real, man. Fucking, I hate bye weeks, man. This shit's looking like those 2 weeks. The next game is like.
Hey,
there's
Gabe,
only one bye week I like.
Huh?
Sorry, I was saying, have you tightened up a little bit? Looks like you gave you some bit of a clean shave.
Little bit.
Yeah, looking fresh with the gear and the white.
Had to clean it up real quick.
Looking good, my brother. Pause. Just put it
I got you.
Ray, good morning to you. Appreciate you.
Ray, what's good, brother? Good morning.
And Pyro,
what's up? What's up?
Oh man. But yeah, like we were just talking about, like first rounders. Like we have had some pieces, but like it's just the glaringly bad ones that stand out like a sore thumb. I mean, Leatherwood, Damon Arnett, Henry Ruggs. Granted, he was panning out for us until what happened. Cleve Farrell, as much as he's a decent rotational piece, it's just way too high picking him at number 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Is there any others that I missed out on that we grabbed in the first round during his tenure?
Oh, first round really, but there was a lot of wasted draft picks for sure. But other than the first rounds too, there's just a lot of wasted.
And the second round hasn't been good either.
Well, my only argument with that is if I forgot whose live was on. Were you there with me, Gabe, when we were talking about what's the bust percentage of first round draft picks? Isn't it like fucking like less than 20%? Like the guys that actually become something, like less than 20%, like 18 or 13%.
Yeah, factual guys who are not like that don't live up to it is like 80% that don't live up to the bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's like what, and 32 out of 32, 8% of that, that's what, fucking 4 every year. You know what I mean? 18%, probably roughly, about that, about 4 or 5. That hit and miss. You know what I mean? And that's over the years.
Sorry, can I just address this comment here by Brian Rodriguez? I appreciate you. Colton was all right, but we could have had Derwin James in that draft. Well, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you believe that, and this is my opinion, that there was more value with us drafting Colt Miller to solidify that left tackle position rather than drafting a stud like, forgive me if I'm wrong, I don't know much about Derwin James. I'm assuming he's a stud player, but do you believe there's more value in the direction we did go in rather than going with Derwin James?
I would have went with Derwin James off top. But at the time we were rebuilding. We had no linemen, so we had to go linemen at the moment. Situational, we had to go linemen. We had no money, we had no picks. You know what I'm saying? We had nothing to give up to trade for at that moment. Derwin James, overall, if you look at him, bro, that fool's a fucking beast. So when we went tackle, motherfuckers like, what? Gruden knew what we had to do at that moment. So, but he was a project.
Yeah, we had Donald Penn. We had Donald Penn. That was his last year with us, but he was on his. It proved to be his last legs. Yeah,
Pro Bowl dollar.
I would have went Roquan that year, but I mean, Derwin James was not a bad choice either. But Roquan Smith was out there that year, and that dude's been a beast too. I mean, other than on Thursday night getting fucking. Did you see him get laid out by Carson Wentz?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? But but it was like a little blind.
We got freaking fantasy points for that.
But but I mean, Colton wasn't a bad pick though. I mean, he's turned out to be, a solid, that could be one of those instances where we could be like, you know what? it's one of those instances where we could be like, you know what, that was actually a solid pick because he's been here and he's fucking actually been a Pro Bowler. He's solidified that side, and like you were saying, that we didn't have linemen. We were having linemen, aging linemen at that time, and it was just, we needed to get younger at that position pretty much.
I think we hit on Colt Miller. It did pan out for us, and it was the right choice. The second round that year, however, was questionable at the time and proved to be just as bad as what was expected. Do you remember who we drafted in the second round that year?
No.
It's got a 2-letter name, first name.
2-letter name.
It goes to my point. You already forgotten.
I forgot.
Yeah, who was it there? Yeah.
Second round.
Raider Gabe, do you remember? Chat, do you remember who we drafted in the second round, 2018, Gruden's first year? I gave you a hint. He's got a 2-letter first name. Anyone?
TJ Carey.
You close with the J.
DJ Hayden?
98 got it.
98.
PJ Hall.
What? Oh yeah.
PJ
what happened?
Hall. PJ.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, PJ
Another
Hall.
one of these project picks that just don't turn out for us. You remember when we drafted him? It was like, oh, this guy's a project pick. He's supposed to be he's supposed to be good at blocking field goals and putting pressure. He just needs to do this, that, and the other, and he didn't do shit.
Look at the wording: project pick, project, the project. You're not supposed to fucking have a project.
Those supposed to be your 4th and 5th round picks,
Right,
6th round picks. Those are those picks, you know what I mean? But not your 2nd round pick. Why the fuck you want to? You want to get a guy that's ready. You know what I mean? Like not. I mean, they're younger, so they're not going to be 100% ready. But the closest thing, you know what I mean? You try to get these guys who are ready to go from day one. But
the next Aaron Donald, yeah, right. But it just goes back to what you were saying, Lo, about we're drafting these. We're not drafting well enough these early rounds. What we're doing is we're drafting these players that are out of position, trying to transition. I mean, the very next year. Or sorry, it was 2020. I mean, we took 2 guys that were off our roster before the season even started.
So this is what the Raiders have done.
You know what I'm saying? Lynn Bowden and Tanner Mears.
Yeah. Tell me I'm tripping. As a collectively, what we do is we draft shit and then use all of our capital for big name players on their maybe last 5 to 6 years. That is what we have done forever. But if you look at other organizations, they turn around and get solidified pieces. You know what I mean? In the draft, they draft well. And that's the thing. So the Raiders have been trying to play catch up. So right now, even though it kind of looks like shit, they're building for the future. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got to really, really look at it that way. Because they cleared up all the bullshit fucking contracts. We're holding on to these other guys that are probably going to do whatever. Josh Jacobs is not going nowhere. We got to really, really think about it like that. He's going to get franchise tag. That'll be the best fucking move to do. If you can't get a deal, if they can't find a deal,
I don't think he'd want to play on the franchise tag.
But see, he's got to understand. See, okay, when you say that you don't think he would want to play under that, he will be considered the top 5 running back. And what they said in the fucking everyone was getting their contract, you were going to get paid accordingly. So him to be like, hey, it would be shit for the whole team for us to pick up that 5th-year option. It'll be better for him overall if we give him that solidified money and then give him a good contract and guaranteed money in a year or 2. So he's solidified.
Running backs are not like, I mean, you know how they say the running backs have a short lifespan in this league anyway. That's the only reason I think he would play for that top money. You know what I mean? That top money and as a free agent, as a tag, just because I know that he risks getting hurt and not getting any more money, but
right.
I thought that's top dollar money. You know what I mean? It's like shit. I know somebody's willing to give it to him though.
Yeah.
I personally don't see any way outside of if we did franchise tag him being on our roster next year. And that's not me saying I don't want him on it because he's definitely playing like he deserves it. And
Oh yeah,
he's been our best player on offense.
right.
I would love to keep him, but just for me, there's just too much writing on the wall, and I don't believe even if we did franchise tag. I mean, how many times does it happen when you see like these players, these top marquee players getting franchise tagged, and they end up forcing their way out of there because they just don't want to play on the franchise tag? Happens all the time. To me, it happens more than it doesn't.
I don't think with Jacobs though. I think it's different. Look, Jacobs to me, if you guys really, really look at his shit and really, really go back, and I had to too, was Fred Taylor's football. Fred Taylor played fucking 15 years, and he was a solid back, bro. Solid fucking back, bro. I think Jacobs can play the same kind of style as him. He's probably going to have a year or two where he's going to be hurt, of course.
Was he with the Bills, Fred Taylor?
No, Jacksonville.
That was Fred Jackson.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, Fred Jackson was with the Bills. Fred Taylor was with Jacksonville, and then he did a career with the Patriots.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. But yeah, but he's solidified now. As far as that's concerned, what Brian's saying,
we addressed that before.
Next year, not so next year, because that's gonna, if we trade him now, that's gonna look like we did something stupid. No one's gonna respect it. And no one's going to want to pick him up right now because he's injured and he's been injured and didn't participate. Nobody wants to pick up that tab, bro. So we're going to have to stick it out, bro. He's going to have some shit games. Hopefully he can put two hands on the fucking ball.
He's going to turn it around. He will turn it around.
He will turn it around.
He will turn it around.
I'm going to light this weed and put it in the air.
Hey, you guys have more hope than I do. That's for sure.
I'm gonna change my dog's name to fucking Bob, bro.
Just quickly address that comment there. Brandon Parker was actually third round that year, and to be honest, like he wasn't great at tackle, but he was always, his best ability up until this season was his availability, and he was at least a serviceable at best answer. So to get 4 years of, a backup tackle, so to say, swing tackle, I think that was a decent investment at the third round spot, So, yeah. But yeah, when some of our later round picks panned out better than the first and second rounds, then that's a problem. I mean, in that 2019 draft specifically, we hit it out of the ballpark with a lot of our later round picks. I mean, Max Crosby and Hunter Renfrow. Foster Moreau is another guy that was still on our roster, and we had a litany of undrafted free agents from that year. We actually me and Onti did a previous video where we did a draft recap from that year, and there's a lot of pieces that came out of that draft class as a whole. But if we'd have drafted the way we drafted in those later rounds in the first and second round for 2019, 2020, and even 2021, shit, we could almost be a Super Bowl team already. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, like with me,
get off, brother. I got some errands to do. Good seeing you, Low. Gabe, good seeing you guys.
That's all right, bro.
Yeah, take care. Much love, my brother. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, bless.
All right, brother, man.
Peace out, brother.
Peace.
I think if we could have got the same value, or even close to the same value in our first round picks, like you say, that we did in our later rounds, easily, bro.
So, like, that's what I was gonna say. Like, right now, what you're saying on Bob, the first and second rounds, right? And that was my point. Like, if we have, everyone's like, we need a first round. No, we don't. I'd rather have 5 second rounds, third rounds. You know what I'm saying? Because what we'll do is we'll bring in hungrier players that need to earn their position. I'm more of a person that, look, you need to earn your opportunity. And what you do with your opportunity from that point forward is on you. Money has nothing to do with it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, obviously money does, but you know what I'm saying?
That should be your worry about, like, securing yourself. But on the field, dog, the money shouldn't worry, man. The money shouldn't.
Well, if that was the case,
Jacob plays like he doesn't come from money, bro. I'm sorry.
It was homeless.
I was just going to say, if that was the case, I mean, Chandler Jones up until this week hadn't really showed up. If it didn't really matter about the money, somebody else would have already taken that starter role, and someone else like Cleve Farrell, who's been actually given more burn at that position than Chandler Jones up until last week. Chandler Jones did show up again in the Charger game. So,
did you hear about the rumor?
To my point about it shouldn't matter about the money. It's not always the case.
Yeah. Did you hear about the rumor about Clee or something like that? That rumor or something like that?
What?
Were we talking about it before about that possible trade scenario to the Lions?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
But
I
I
think
mean,
Mitchell
bro.
Rance threw that out as a hypothetical.
Yeah,
That's
dumb.
at
We need
this
all the
point,
defensive tackles. Yeah.
yeah. At this
I just want to address this comment here. Salute to you, Brian. You've been really active in the chat.
What's up, bro?
I already have our first round pick next year, offensive tackle Paris Johnson. Well, just a little bit of objectivity. I don't know much about the player you highlighted, but just a little bit of objectivity. I mean, Thayer Mumford, we've been plugging him in as a 7th round rookie, and he's been getting a lot of burn at that right tackle spot.
Mm-hmm.
He's had some miscues when I've had a look at some of the analysis tapes and that. However, for a guy we brought in the 7th round in his first season, who wasn't pegged to be a starter, was pegged to be a rotation piece, and to my knowledge, he was actually during the draft process pegged as a guard rather than a tackle, and to come in his rookie season, his first year, and actually been playing reasonably okay, especially at that right tackle position, and especially when you compare it to, say, these guys we've drafted in the 1st round or the 3rd round in their rookie seasons where they were terrible. Mumford has been okay, and it's, Mumford has a future if he keeps trending upwards. I mean, it's been a steady growth so far. It's been positive signs for the most part. We won't have to go in that direction in the draft 1st round. If he can be the guy that solidifies it in time, I mean, he showed signs already so far. He's not there yet, but at least he's proving to be serviceable. And if he's serviceable enough in his first year, we can only imagine with time what he's going to pan out to be. Any thoughts on that?
I think he's gonna be good, man. I think. I mean, he wasn't, even. I don't think nobody would had him on the radar to like start. You know what I mean? But with all the injuries and all that stuff like that, and he's came in and he's being productive. Yeah, there's gonna be growing pains. You know what I mean? Always. He's a rookie, barely this league. What up, Mike? But I think he's gonna develop, bro. I think he looks like he could be a player who can. He's catching on, you know what I mean. So it's not like a guy who you see making the same type of mistakes or anything like that. He's a guy who you can see learning, game by game. I know it's early, but I can see him being good for us, though. At least a solid piece on the line.
I mean, he hasn't been stellar, but look at him as in comparison to Alex Leatherwood, who we drafted in the 1st round. Exactly. Even Colton Miller, he struggled in his first year. You know what I'm saying?
See, for me,
Colton Miller had excuses though.
Yeah. What do you think, Mikey?
Hey, MG, salute to you. Appreciate you
stopping by, man. Salute, man. About our draft picks?
Yeah.
Everything in general.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know who the fuck was the scouting team, who the one was saying, hey, we should pick these motherfuckers. It's like, yeah, seriously, man.
Do you guys remember what they said about Damon Arnett? We had never done as much homework and research on a 1st rounder as they did on Damon freaking Arnett, and they still chose him.
That his red flags were just like something in the past, that he wasn't, because he had the same type of fucking instances to where he was, he was off the field issues and shit like that, and all that homework didn't fucking, what the fuck, dude?
Man, I'm on the couch and I saw that coming, even when we drafted him. You know what I mean? Like, how is it these guys are in their position and they didn't see what was going to happen would eventually happen if they drafted him?
They had a better corner on the other fucking side.
Yeah. And we drafted somebody with half a heart.
Yeah, we drafted their backup, like not backup corner, but their 2nd corner when their 1st corner was available at Ohio State. It's like that was just, I don't know what the fuck, dog.
Yeah, but all those red flags off the field, I mean, Jesus,
that too.
Come on, how can you draft a guy like that in the 1st round and not expect like things to go wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
You got red flags, and he's not even the best corner on the team, and you have a chance to pick the best corner on that team while you're, it's your turn to pick, and you pick the other guy with red flags, and he's not even the better corner.
I think Okuda was off the board by then.
Is he doing good in Detroit?
No, I think it was even Ware, but I don't even know where Ware is at now. But
it was Jeff Okuda, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. But still, to your point, like, I mean, he wasn't even the best cornerback on the team.
Horrible.
let alone like a first. Yeah, horrible, terrible. So I just saw Brian talk. Was it Brian or Raiders 7528? Salute to you. Don't believe I gave you our greetings and salutations. I'm watching Falcons versus 49ers. Marcus Mariota in the red zone is putting together.
So who's playing better, Mariota or Carr?
Hey, come on, Cash Lord. Calm down, Cash Lord.
Fucking Cash Lord, dog. If you're watching, bro, I had to say that shit.
That fool's like 154 games. He hasn't thrown 30 touchdowns, and that fool got every stat on that fool.
Somebody said, man, and it fucking hurt, man. It fucking hurt. They said Derek Carr we should not be celebrating Derek Carr's 200th touchdown, which is officially the highest in, you know what I'm saying?
Just because he's been with us for so long, though, Low, you know what I mean?
Because we lost against the number one fucking NFL team right now, bro. Oh, by 1 point, 2 points. My bad. He didn't do it. He didn't deserve it, bro. Fuck.
Hey, Devontae Adams threw that ball in the stands, huh?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Right away.
He just struck that shit up there. We didn't know, I don't think, dog, at that moment.
The announcers were like, if Carr wanted his 200 ball, that's like 30 rolls back.
Yeah, Chief fan ain't giving that shit.
Hell no.
But it's psychology that Chief fan's holding it. He's holding Derek Carr's ball. He looks at it in his house.
Sorry, I'm just reading some of these comments. There's a few comments here about. I'll just read out Raider Bob's comment. I want to see Kuntz and Jones rotate. Jones is starting to look his age. Well, yeah, I would agree with that up until that last game against the Chiefs. He started to come on, and hopefully that's the trend he's going to take from here on out. In regards to Kuntz, I was highlighting before. I think he's in McDaniel's doghouse. I don't think McDaniel's is too high on the guy, and I was highlighting just the way he spoke to him after that penalty that he gave away, or did or didn't, whatever you want to call it. And just what I saw when I saw the way he got spoken to in preseason when he got grilled for touching the red shirt, you know what I mean? Like, just I don't know, just the body language and the way he kind of spoke to him. It's just like he's just
Once you're in the doghouse, it's hard to get out, boy. You gotta do like, oh shit, gold, homie. You know,
you gotta get flowers. You gotta,
Yeah, no, seriously.
You gotta set him up, bro. Be like, oh, like have him in almost
clothes,
threatening situation and save him. Save you, dog. I saved you, dog.
Did he see the field after that happened? I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
He hasn't really been playing. He just special teams. You saw that lineman just hug him on purpose so he can get the call. That was fucked up, man.
Well, that's the thing. The first few games, he wasn't seeing much game time. Sorry, Dirty Low. And then he started to see a little bit more. And then, he did that. Well, he did or didn't do that thing, and he got in trouble. Sorry, Dirty Low. You go ahead.
Good. No, you're good. No, I'm just saying, Brian, it's Sunday. It's the Lord's Day. You're going to make me...
Hey, the Texans have 2 weeks to prepare for us, too.
You're going to make me lose my shit?
And lately...
You're coming, man, bro, you coming with good points, and I love the chats, bro, but this right here...
In Jesus' name I pray.
Don't even put that out in the atmosphere. No, don't even do that.
I'm sitting there like this.
Brian, come on, Brian.
I almost committed suicide last night.
I woke up like Texans won. What?
Fucking
no.
No.
Fucking Dodgers. I don't even want to talk about them.
I'm not at panic stations yet with the season, but God willing, it doesn't happen. If that happened, then I'd be ready to push the panic button.
There's just no more room for error, just to be
none.
With you, Afakasi.
Very little. Now we could lose like two games,
if anything. But I feel like if we don't come off the gate at least on a 3 to 4 game winning streak, it's gonna be tough to sell the nation on we're trying to win. You know what I'm saying? And this coaching staff, who knows what their mentality is gonna be if we, let's say, we win, lose, win. You know what I'm saying? Who's to say they'll start shutting it down? You know what I'm saying? And really, you guys want to see the rookies? Here you go, Masterson and all these other cats. You know what I'm saying? So You know,
Amir White.
like I said, Houston has 2 weeks to prepare for us too. They're an NFL team. We got to go up there and just do what we do. You know, like I said, nobody can beat us when we do what we do, guys. Let's be honest. Not just to be a homer. You know what I'm saying? When we have no mistakes, we're fucking running the ball. We're fucking shutting down that fucking offense, getting 3 and outs just like we did with KC. There's nobody that can stop us, dog. Nobody. You know, that's the frustrating thing, you know, for us to be 1-4 and to see the way we've been losing these games. That's the most frustrating thing, that as we know for the past 20 years, boys, it's a bitch. You know what I'm saying? And coming into this shit on paper, it's like, hey, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah. And, you know, just to further to that point, I mean, like, do you remember the big, I know we said we were going to go past the Chiefs game, but do you remember the start of the Chiefs game where we were, 4th and 1? And Derek Carr threw that huge pass to Devontae Adams. And for me, the analogy I used for that was like a Draymond Green punch to the mouth start for the Raiders. Now, I want us to follow that punch in the mouth with, you know, stomping them, mud hole stomping these fools and keeping the foot on the throat, rather than just like, okay, we've you know, we've given them that like first punch, like let's come with the second and third. Instead, we're just kind of flailing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
the mentality is right, but it shouldn't be. How do you say it? It should be forced. It shouldn't have to be our last option. You see what I'm saying? Out the gate, go 100 yards. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? That type of mentality. Instead of like, we're 4th and 1 and we had to bomb it. You know what I'm saying? We had to almost come from behind mentality. Like, I want to go for a 25-yard shot on first down. You know what I mean? Type deal. You know, it's a combination, but then yet we got to run the ball. You see what I'm saying? So it's fuck. It's like it's a perfect drama. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Like, I'm just trying to say, like, just scoring on the first drive. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, hitting them first, so to say. You know what I mean? Like, I want to keep, like, you know, keep swinging rather than just like, all right, we've got that first big blow, but we're not following up like with another one, and then keeping the foot on the throat, like for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The combos and all that stuff. Yeah.
It's like we fucking start off good and 2 fucking games, 17-0, 20-0 leads we've had and we blew though.
And let's not remember, when we're losing, we point out all the obvious when we're losing, guys. And when we're winning, we kind of sweep it under the rug and you know, keep it going and kind of learn on the fly, kind of, you know, our mistakes on the fly because we're winning. But yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. This shit sucks right now, man. No doubt about it.
Winning cures everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Gabe.
No, go ahead. That's all I want to say. Winning cures everything, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
I think focus is the biggest key. You see focus on Crosby. You see focus on, you know, Jacobs. You see a focus in Carr too. Devontae's not there. You know what I mean? I always see Derek Carr focused. You know what I mean? On whatever he needs to be focused on, but he is a focus and he is a fixed point. He's been that for a long time for this team. You know what I'm saying? He's just been a fixed point. I'm not saying the right point, but it's been a fixed point. But
he gets rattled, yes, but there's always focus.
Yes, but you see the focus on him. I can see it in James too, bro. Like, he wants to get out there. He wants to punch somebody in the mouth. You know what I mean? That when they're running the ball, they look focused. You know, so that intensity needs to be pushed around all the ways across. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not seeing the focus and the living embodiment of fucking Clifford Franklin and fucking Keelan Cole. Get that fucking guy out of here, bro. That guy, but nah. But
although you were just talking about James, I mean, he's another one who's been a bright spot. I mean, a lot of people were talking about let's replace Andre James even off top with Dylan Parham, and I think he's definitely, you know, shut the gate on that debate.
Yeah, let Parham do Parham. Bars has been fucking. He's been there, bro.
Bars has been pleasant, yeah. Barham did make some mistakes last game though, but he's a rookie. He's doing well, as is Munford. Like when you take things into consideration, and there's a future for both Munford and Barham. Just James is the present at center. No debate, in my opinion.
And I know we didn't see it, but just like Park Gunther cracked the code a little bit week 5, the time that we beat the Chiefs in 2020, kind of rushing 3, having a spy and having everybody back. I think we're gonna start to find out that these receivers from the Chiefs, they're gonna have to prove they can be one-on-one matchups. Because I think when we were going man to man and kind of blitzing them, we were getting to him. You know what I'm saying? So I think we kind of crack a little code there. Hopefully, hey, we're gonna have to see if these NFL receivers that the Chiefs got are really about it. Because to me, it's just Kelsey. Kelsey only had 25 yards, but obviously 4 touchdowns, right? Little things,
Yeah, but one should have got called back for sure. Now, there was 2 fucking holdings on that motherfucker. His longest touchdown pass, the 8-yard one, that one was a fucking. There was 2 holding on that motherfucker, dog. One on the rusher on the defensive. I think it was the defensive end that got in. They held him, and then once they got the ball to fucking Kelsey, he was like running in, and then they held. I think it was it Perriman? I forgot who it was, but they held him, and it was just like, what the fuck? That fool even had to pull his hands up, dog. The other guy still had his hands underneath. Like, it was horrible, but that was just that makeup call. That's why I'm saying that roughing the passer call was like the worst thing that happened to us that game.
And the time that Devontae Adams needed to be perfect for us in 3rd and 1, hey, he made a human error. You know what I mean? Those little things, like I said, guys, that's the frustrating thing.
The thing is,
excuse and lack of execution.
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is, it shouldn't have came down to that because we should have had a new set of downs. Though we should have picked up that first down first.
True.
I mean, like try to get that shit, and then we can open up the playbook. You know what I mean? Because right there, once you get that first down, you open up the playbook, and now you get an 8-yard run, you're already in field goal position. You get a 7-yard pass, you're in field goal position. So that's why it's like on 4th and 1, it was just like
they blew that up, that 4th and 1 though. Gabe, you don't think they would have been stopped? Because Carr got blew up when he just threw that shit for like a Hail Mary. It seemed like
he got nailed hard.
Yeah, he got popped.
What I mean is that they had 2 plays for that shit. I know. I mean, the other one was
the 3rd and 1. We should have ran it. The
3rd and 1, and then maybe the 4th and 1 should have been to Devontae on the sideline. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But 3rd and 1, we should have tried to get that first down.
Knowing you're gonna go for it, you know what I mean?
There's been too many times where that's been happening. And Dirt.E Low, I know you got to sign off soon, so I'll just finish my comment and then you can
you're good, brother.
There's been too many times, and it's not just those occasions which you were talking about, but there's been too many times where we've been in these short yardage situations, and it's been in situations where it's just like, well, we're going to go for it anywhere on 4th down, and you mean to tell me that in 2, or even sometimes like we've been in 1st and goal situations on the 1, that we can't just hand it off to Josh Jacobs 2 times, 3 times, and he's not going to make 1 yard or 2 yards.
Yep. Even a fucking quarterback sneak, we would have made that 3rd and 1. Shit.
Right. Instead, we're trying to throw the ball like.
There's plenty of time.
Bootleg something. Fuck.
There's still plenty of time. There was like 40-something seconds left. There was still plenty of time, dog.
You had that little shovel option that they usually do on 3rd and 2 or something like that. Something.
That's on McDaniels, man. He needs to, just do the analytics and just not get cute. Just do the, what should make common sense play rather than trying to do this, that, and the other. But anyways, look, Dirt.E Low. Appreciate you
kicking you out
doing the dual stream with us. No, he's
I'm just fucking
private chat that he needs to get going. So unless you want to stick around,
bro. Damn, bro, you're my... No, I'm joking.
Sorry, I didn't read the private chat. My bad.
Yeah, if you got time, I would love for you to stay. But I know you.
Oh yeah, no, I got to get a couple things going. I got some family coming over, and I got to go do a few other things. But no, all I was gonna say, boys, is man. Overall, like, I think we're gonna be all right. It's gonna be a long process. You know what I'm saying? I'm in it for the long haul, regardless of whatever. I'm not gonna shit on my players no more, man. It's just a little upsetting. It's disappointing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fuck Waller. Nah, I'm just
Yeah.
Not the dog. Not the dog.
See, okay, I was about to say that look kind of sounded a little like towards my dog, bro.
Oh,
What did my
my bad,
dog
my
do?
bad,
Bro?
my
You
bad.
know what I mean?
I forgot his name was Waller, dog. My fault.
But no, man, I think we're gonna be all right, bro. It's gonna be a long haul, but once we start getting together, we're gonna get a couple more key pieces. I think we're gonna stick with what we got. I think it's gonna be better to invest in what we do have, make some better moves over. With players with like 1 year left on their contract, that's the kind of players that we need to start looking forward. But as far as right now, Robert is softest charming, bro. When you pet my dog, because his coat's really, really nice. I got him on these nice pills.
Órale.
Nice, soft, bro. He's a soft dog, bro.
Órale.
Now, as far as the football player, that motherfucker's soft as a wet paper bag, dog. No, no. We all just gotta have faith, my guys. We're gonna be all right, though. We're gonna be all right. But man, thank you for having me on, Gabe.
Hut.
Number one back. Silent count, baby. Silent count.
Have a good weekend. Rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming and doing the dual stream with us. It's been a pleasure. And for anybody who's watching on my channel, you can go to Dirt.E Low's channel, throw him a sub if you haven't already. You know what to do. Show them the same support that you show me, and go and get those sub numbers up, because they should be a lot higher than what they are at the moment.
Thank you, my brother.
You're always putting out good content. You're very knowledgeable when it comes to the Raiders, hip hop happenings. So you keep doing your thing, and let's grind together. So appreciate it, brother. You take care, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Much love, bro.
Here's everyone.
Visual. Let me see.
Making pozole today, boys. Yeah.
I'm going to pretend I know what that is, because I don't.
I just want every AFC team to lose today. Fuck
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.